Up? Welcome back to Big Apple Baseball Banter. I am back. We're going to talk Mets, going to talk baseball. We're going to do the top 10 players at every position. Let's banter. All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm back. I'll explain everything, why I've been gone, all that, Really happy to be back, though. Really happy to be talking baseball. You already know. So yeah, I kind of took a few weeks off. Kind of needed it, man. I don't want to make excuses or whatnot, but I just need a little time off. But I'm super motivated to be going at it again. Let's get to the chat real quick. It's back from a long hiatus. Yes, sir. What's up, bro? What's up, Matt? How you doing, man? Jose, I do believe the ghost Sam Donald might even be able to see you from Carolina. Hey, man, that's a pretty good comment. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I had a big test for school, a music theory test, and so I ended up hanging with some buddies for the rest of the day. Didn't feel like doing the podcast. Then kind of just didn't feel like doing it again the next week. Like I said, a bit of time off, but I'm totally back, ready to roll. So before we get into some of the main topics, I want to talk about something last night. So I caught I went to a Mets Red Wings game, Syracuse Mets Red Wings game. So Rochester Red Wings, my minor league team, and they played the Syracuse Mets last night, which Syracuse Mets won. I was rooting for them big time. Some cool stuff happened there. So they had a bobblehead giveaway for Williams Astudillo in a Rochester Red Wings uniform. And it's not a bobblehead, it's a bobble shell because it's La Tortuga. Now they're being nice to him. He's way too skinny on here. Sorry for you guys who are listening on podcast apps. Like I should say before, follow us on Instagram, big.apple.baseball.banner. Ben posts a lot of funny memes and stuff there. Funny little nerdy baseball jokes and whatnot. Spotify, iTunes, all podcasting platforms, iTunes especially. Please drop us a 5-star and a review. Really appreciate that. So yeah, the coolest thing though was at the beginning of the game, I got there pretty early to get the bobblehead. I got to watch the bullpen, and Seth Lugo was there, and I said what up to him. I not gonna lie, I fanboyed a little bit there. Hey Seth, how you doing, man? How you feeling? Typical stuff like that. There are other people around. Someone asked him for an autograph. He said, unfortunately, they're not allowed to do that. The guy answered the question for me because I brought a ball just in case they were allowed to sign him. Was bummed though. I thought JD was going to be there. He's back in New York, doing some other, injury related stuff. Thought Syndergaard might be, but he's in low A with Port St. Lucie. But another funny highlight of that game, Seth Lugo got out of the inning, and I was going bananas. I was like, I was being an asshole. I was like, hey, yo, Red Wing fans, where you at? And funny, I'm a Red Wing fan too. Like, they're my team, obviously. Like, I don't really follow minor league baseball outside of when I go to the games, but I always root for them unless they're playing the Mets because obviously that's my team. So then the Spikes, the mascot, was on the dugout right in front of me for the 7th inning stretch, just stared right at me and pointed right at me, gave me the dirtiest look, funniest thing ever. It was such a great time, man. So let's jump into the show. So we've got 2 big topics today, and we'll try to get into the calls towards the end. Trying to get an hour show just because I don't want to, go into the game at 7:10 tonight. Let's talk a bit about the injuries. It's getting comical at this point. Obviously, it's not funny seeing guys get hurt, but every day a new player gets hurt. And, like I've said, I'm not too into doing game recaps and stuff. I hate, watching a game being in analysis mode and whatnot. But I like giving the current state of the team. Current state of the team is how the fuck are they winning games right now? Like, it's like they're not playing great, obviously, but they're winning games. Tomas Nido's completely carrying this team, and it sucks too because all our guys are hurt, and the guys who aren't hurt play like shit. Lindor, McCann have been horrendous. Dom Smith hasn't been much better. And now he might be out with a knee injury. He's off the bench tonight, but it's just insane. Alonso, hand injury. A bunch of pitchers, arm issues, hamstrings. They're not coming back for a while. McNeil, Conforto with their hamstrings. Pilar gets hit in the face. Like, it's insane, man. How many freaking injuries this team has. And you got to give credit to Luis Rojas. I mean, I know it's the fun thing to blame everything about Rojas. You guys see Hayden. He's always, when we lose games, like, oh, Steve Cohen, get him out of here. Yeah, is Ross a bad manager? Yeah. But you got to give him a little bit of credit. I think he's really good with working with younger players. That's kind of what he's done throughout his entire career. So I think that's why he's getting a lot out of these younger guys. Like that's why you're seeing guys like Khalil Lee and John Fargus. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it for Janeshwi Fargus. He's getting a lot more out of them than a guy like Cameron Maben, who's been just dreadful. So I would love to keep Rojas as like a bench coach or something next year. Obviously, that never happens. You don't demote a guy. That would be kind of awkward. You probably just fire him. But he works well with young players. So I mean, I still want him in the Mets organization. He's not useless like other people think he is. Like that's his experience. He's a minor league manager who gets a lot out of player development and works well with young players. So, see the Mets, DeGrom came back too. That was good to see. McCann's now playing first base, which is like our third baseman with Dom going back in the outfield. Other news, we traded for Billy McKinney from the Brewers, which is interesting that is now we have both players the Blue Jays acquired for J.A. Happ back when they traded him to the Yankees. Both Billy McKinney and Brandon Drury are on the Mets right now, who hit a home run the other day, funny enough. So thanks, Andrew. Got the All-Star hat from Cleveland. Which side is it on? No, this side. The guitar right there. You guys see me. I got guitars in the background. It's like the best of both worlds. Guitar and Mets. Like that's my life in a nutshell. So I love this hat, man. But get back on topic. DeGrom came back. That's great to see. Supposedly his injury came from swinging the bat, which if that's true, that just DH couldn't come any sooner. So yeah, Billy McKinney comes. Do I expect anything? No. He made one stud defensive play this year, but I mean he's bounced around. He's not good, obviously. But we're just looking for anyone. I mean, we traded $1 for Cameron Maben. Like we're just looking for anyone to fill in. It's insane, man, how injured this team is. So on more of a positive note, I was watching the Fully Inflated Football podcast by that franchise guy, aka Marcus Whitman, YouTuber, and he did a podcast of the top 10 players at every position for football. So I'm like, I'll do that for baseball. And we did the one me and Ben did, this offseason. We never finished it, where we kind of went back and forth. I'm going to go really quick because I want to get all these done so we can get to the phone calls. So we're going to start with catcher. And I'm not going to read out too many stats and whatnot. I'll tell you why I like, one more than the other. But, I'm not going to just be reading off stats and whatnot. It's not too in-depth. I did the in-depth work before this, and I'm just giving you guys my list. Catcher, number 1, JT Realmuto. It's not even close, in my opinion. Most well-rounded catcher in the game. He's a 5-tool player. He does everything well. He's been banged up a bit this year. Great arm, great framer. Maybe the best hitting catcher. But actually, the best hitting catcher is our number 2 option, Will Smith. Will Smith, finally, the Dodgers are listening and not just putting Austin Barnes out every day and just not using Will Smith. It's just infuriating seeing them refuse to give this guy any playing time. And he's playing really well defensively this year, better defensively than Austin Barnes. He's playing really well this year. He's probably the best hitting catcher in the league. He is so good. Will Smith is awesome. And he's super young, too. He's going to be with the Dodgers for a long time. 3, Yasmani Grandal. He's most people's number 2 or number 1. I'm at number 3. He's a little inconsistent for me, but he's probably the best framing catcher in the league. He's got a really good arm as well. Handles the pitching staff well. Grandal's a great player. I'm still pissed the Mets didn't sign him when the year the White Sox did. If Steve Cohen bought the team a year sooner, he might be a Met. And now we're stuck with James McCann. Number 4, big riser here, Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly has been unbelievable this year. And this list is taking a lot of this year and the past. It's kind of a bit of everything and a little bit of projection too. Carson Kelly's hitting the ball unbelievably hard. He's been unbelievable this year, man. Is he the best defensive catcher? No, he's not amazing. He's fine though. But when you hit like that, I don't care. Carson Kelly, number 4. Get to the chat right here. Damn, no Nito at number 1, shaking my head. Hey, Nito's playing like it right now. Hey, man. You platoon him and McCann, because McCann plays well in the platoon role. That's what I've been saying. Maybe McCann will actually start playing well, but Nito's just been unbelievable. Getting back to the list. Number 5, Wilson Contreras. He's not the greatest defensive catcher, but he's got maybe the best arm out of any catcher, and he's a really good hitter. Not off to the best start. He strikes out a little too much this year, but he's a really good player. Number 6, young stud, Sean Murphy. This dude's a future Gold Glover, has one of the best arms I've ever seen from the catcher position for a player this young. He's a really good defensive catcher, and the hitting will come. He's hit a lot. Last year he hit really well. This year he's off to a kind of a slow start. He's a really good player, though. Christian Vasquez, number 7 from the Red Sox. He kind of just does everything well. He's a great hitter, a really good defensive catcher. He's kind of come out of nowhere the past couple of years and really become, not just a backup, like a legit stud starting catcher, and he's a top 10 catcher at this point. Number 8, one of the most valuable players in baseball, in my opinion, Austin Nola. This dude's the definition of a super utility guy. He can literally play everywhere. I think he's played like every position except maybe shortstop and pitcher. Crazy. Really good defensive catcher. He's up there in age. He's like in his 30s, but he's going to last long just because he hasn't been catching so long to the point where it's going to do some damage on his legs. Austin Nola is a really good player. Obviously, brother of Aaron Nola. The Padres acquired him from the Mariners. Last trade deadline, he's going to be there for a little bit. He's a really good player. Number 9, Omar Narvaez, one of the better hitting catchers in the league. And this year, he's actually playing much better defense than usual for the Brewers. Former Mariner, just like Austin Nola, was on the White Sox before. He's on the Brewers now. Really good player. Now, number 10, this one gets me excited. Buster Posey. Buster Posey is back, baby. OPS above 1,000 this year. He's been unbelievable. And I think taking the year off last year, he had the opt-out year. I think that really helped him, man. I mean, catcher is such a physically demanding position from, squatting, throwing, having, blocking and stuff, just dropping down like that. It's a physically demanding position. I think having that year off really helped him. I'm going to get a quick water break before we move on to first base. First base. This position is loaded, man. Where should I put this? Right here. First base is loaded. Number 1, no surprise, Freddie Freeman, one of the best hitters in baseball. He just won an MVP last year. Just one of the best well-rounded players. He's a borderline top 10 player in all of baseball. He's unbelievable. Number 2, I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. Jose Abreu. Now, did Jose Abreu deserve the MVP last year? It's debatable. He obviously won it. A lot of people thought DJ LeMahieu. I personally thought Jose Ramirez with Abreu second. But this is not his only good year. He's been unbelievable every year of his career. And last year, he learned how to field. He came out of nowhere with the defense. Jose Abreu is such a good player. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. He kind of does everything well. He's a great leader. He has all the intangibles. What's not there not to like? Jose Abreu is awesome. Coming in at number 3, stud this year. Bad year last year, but he's pretty much always been good since coming to the Dodgers. Max Muncie. Max Muncie has one of the best eyes at the plate. He's a really good defensive first baseman. He can also play second. He can play third. Super valuable, man. Hits for power. He's just a really well-rounded player. Tough year last year, yes, but he's phenomenal. Number 4, Anthony Rizzo, one of the most well-rounded players in baseball. He never misses games, which is a big bonus for him. He's one of the best defensive first basemen. He hits really well. He's so consistent, which is so great to see. Number 5, hot take. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Now, I know this is a breakout year. It's only been a month and a half, but this guy was the number 1 prospect in baseball. So this performance we all saw coming. First year, struggled, played third base. I think a lot of times players' bad defense reflects their hitting. I always said from off the bat, once I first saw him, a couple of his games, he's not third baseman. He's too big. He had to lose some weight, and he lost the weight. Last year, hit the ball really hard, but a lot of them were ground outs, hard ground outs, stuff like that. Now he's elevating the ball. He's playing first base every day now. He lost a shit ton of weight. Oh, my God. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was he's kind of like Giancarlo Stanton back from 2017. He just murders the baseball. He's unbelievable, man. And yeah, is number 5 a little high? Yeah, maybe. But it's not like there's some random player who's just playing well all of a sudden. It's not like Akil Badu, who's some nobody playing really well. So, yeah. Number 6, Paul Goldschmidt. Not off to the greatest year. He's starting to decline a bit, but his years with Arizona were just unbelievable. He's, again, a really well-rounded player. He also steals bases, not as much anymore, but especially in his prime. Paul Goldschmidt, great player. He's pretty interchangeable with Matt Olson. Matt Olson's really good. The injuries are a bit of concern for him, but he's just maybe one of the most powerful first basemen outside of our next guy. He's super hits for insane power, phenomenal glove. He's won multiple gold gloves, really good picking it. He can pick it really well at first base. Olson's really good. Andrew says Olson is low. I mean, all these guys can kind of be interchangeable. Like first base is a loaded position. So yeah, if you have Olson at number 4, I don't blame you. I mean, all these guys are just amazing. Number 8, Big Meat Pete Alonso, baby. Now after the greatest start this year, he's playing really well though. Well, that didn't make sense. I just said he's not the greatest start. He's playing pretty well. He's hitting the ball really hard, and his defense has really improved this year. People still think his defense sucks because that was always, the scouting report on him coming into the league. He's playing defense. His defense has been really good. He's been a little, hurt for the last week, which that's another thing about him. He never gets hurt outside of this one injury. Um, the best power and maybe in baseball. He hit 53 home runs. Oh, juice ball, yeah, whatever. I mean, in a down year last year, he hit 16 home runs. I mean, he's a insane power. Um, getting better defensively at first. Number 8, he has a room to really elevate on this list as well. Number 9, we kind of have a copy of him who plays on the other side of town in Luke Voit. Yankee fans gonna murder me for putting him behind Pete Alonso. Who had the better 2020? Luke Voit. Who had the better 2019? Pete Alonso. What do you really value more? I value the full season more, so I'm taking Pete Alonso. Very similar players, very powerful hitters. Not the greatest batting averages, but they walk a decent amount. Just they're both great players. Eric Hosmer rounds out my list at number 10. Had a couple down years initially with the Padres, but he's really gotten better about elevating the ball, not just hitting it hard on the ground. Launch angle is kind of the name of his game nowadays. Really solid player. All right, second base. This is definitely a weaker position. Not a great position here, but there are some guys. Number one, I got DJ LeMahieu. He's playing a little more first base. He's probably going to move more towards that role later in his career. I don't know how they're going to do that though with Luke Voit playing first base and Giancarlo playing in the DH in the Bronx. So he's still a phenomenal hitter. He's not off to the greatest start this year. At least he was earlier. I might be totally wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong if he's playing well now. He's phenomenal contact hitter. Goes the other way seamlessly. He's my number one second baseman. He's won Gold Gloves in the past. He's won a batting title in both leagues. Arguably could have won the MVP last year. I think he finished third. Number 2, Katel Marte. He's back. He's kind of an every other year player. It seems like he had the ridiculous year in 2019. He's off to a ridiculous start now. He can also play center field. Really good athlete, powerful hitter. He kind of does everything well. So Katel Marte. Number 3, Jeff McNeil. Not off to the greatest start. One of the best contact hitters in baseball. I kind of wish he got more back to just. Now he's kind of trying to pull the ball a little more. I miss kind of his old approach, but he's definitely trying to. I see him trying to get back to that a little more. He's a really good player, man. He's playing second base every day. He's not just moving around every day. He's playing a really good second base defensively. Him and Lindor, once Lindor finally learns how to hit, are going to be an insane up the middle duo for years to come. Jeff McNeil, number 3. Number 4, big comeback player right here. Marcus Semien for the Toronto Blue Jays. Made the move to Toronto from Oakland this past offseason and also made the move from shortstop to second base. He also made the move from shit hitter to elite hitter. He's been phenomenal this year. He had the ridiculous 2019 where he came in third in the MVP voting. He's back to that. He has been unbelievable this year on my fantasy team too. Let's go. Marcus Semien coming in at number 4. Number 5, young guy right here, Jake Cronenworth for the Padres. Now, if you guys remember when me and Ben did our second base list, I didn't have him on here because I thought he was going to be playing predominantly in left field with Ha-Sung Kim coming from Japan. But Cronenworth has been playing in second base quite a bit. He just hits a lot. And for a throwaway prospect, not really throwaway, but kind of a no-name prospect in the Tommy Pham trade for, I think, Xavier Edwards is his name. He's also a two-way player, which we'd seen him pitch once this year, which was cool to see. It was, more because of a blowout game. They're not really using him as a traditional pitcher. Or I think it was because it was a late inning game. Something like one of those two. One of the phenomenal players in that phenomenal infield, Jake Cronenworth. Number 6, another guy I didn't have because I thought he was going to be playing a different position. That's Whit Merrifield, the Kansas City Royals. Started off the year really hot. He's a really solid player. Hits well, steals bases. He led the league in hits a couple years ago. Plays a nice second base. Can also play center field and right field. Really good athlete, man. Number 7, Jose Altuve. I think he's off to a pretty decent year. I need to check on that. Cheating. I'm always going to have that in the back of my head. So he gets bumped down. He was dreadful last year, obviously. Picked it up a little more in the playoffs. Defensively, not anything great anymore. You might see him decline soon just because he's getting up there a little more. And the cheating stuff does knock him down a little more. Ozzy Albies comes in number 8. He's a tad bit overrated in my opinion. He's a good player though. He needs to give up switch hitting in my opinion. He's way better from the right side than the left side. You might need to make that switch. His splits from that way is kind of funny how different they are. But Ozzy Albies, really good player, hits for good power, really good for that Braves team. Him and Acuna, two young players for that team with Freddie Freeman, Marcell Ozuna, other really awesome bats in that lineup. Number 9, Brandon Lau. He can play second. He can play right at the outfield. Kind of does, Tampa Bay Rays of, moving guys around, whatnot. Really solid player. He had a pretty good year last year. Started out rough in the postseason, got a lot better towards the end. Brandon Lau's a good player. Coming in at number 9. He doesn't play as much as these other guys just for, being a Tampa Bay Ray. But he's a good player. Here, let me take a water break real quick. Number 10, Colton Wong. Not the greatest hitter in the world, but he's the best defensive second baseman in the league. So I got to put some respect on that. Got to go faster, bro. Less explaining. All right. I'll do less explaining. Third base, my favorite position. If you want to know why, David Wright's my favorite player of all time. Third base. Number 1, Nolan Arenado. What did I say? I said he's the best third baseman in baseball. Oh, Colorado. No Colorado anymore. Instagram people. Clowns. They always told me, oh, he's Colorado, all this shit, road splits, all that crap. He's playing unbelievable in St. Louis. What a steal, man. I kind of wanted the Mets to get him. Obviously, a hefty contract, too, which we didn't really need on our books, but he's such a good player. Maybe the best defensive third baseman. He's hitting really well, too. Number 2, arguably should have been the AL MVP last year, Jose Ramirez. Phenomenal player, does everything well. He also steals bases, too, which a lot of third basemen don't. Number 3, Anthony Rendon, probably the best hitting third baseman. He's just been unbelievable. Jose, if you're watching this, another player, stud player on the Angels, being absolute wasted on a garbage team. Number 4, Manny Machado. Manny Machado, Mets fans, is a reason you should not panic about Francisco Lindor. Tough year when he first got to San Diego. Next year, almost won the MVP. Andrew says, thank you, Nolan. At 1, someone has a brain. Yes, Nolan Arenado fan club for life. Getting back to Manny Machado, had a tough year of his first year in San Diego, and then almost won MVP the next year. So Mets fans, don't panic just yet. I know it's ugly. I know it sucks. But yeah, Manny Machado, great hitter. Maybe the best arm out of any third baseman. He's just so loosey-goosey in the field, but it works so well. Manny Machado is awesome. Number 5, Alex Bregman. Yeah, cheating. It sucks. But he's a really good player, man. Almost won the MVP in 2019. He walks more than he strikes out. He plays a pretty decent third base as well. He's just a really good hitter. Number 6, probably the best defensive player in baseball, Matt Chapman. Not hitting off to, great this year, coming off a pretty tough injury. Matt Chapman's a really good player, though. His defense is just, it's so awesome. It's so fun to watch his highlights. Number 7, an older guy, Josh Donaldson for the Twins. He's just super consistent outside of, a couple tough years from injuries at his end of his Toronto days. He's a former MVP. He hits so well. He's an elite defender, too. He's so good defensively. Master of the bare hand play. Josh Donaldson is awesome. Number 8, Chris Bryant. If he keeps it up this year, he'll definitely move up on the list. Solid defender. I don't know why they play him in the outfield so much. It's stupid. But decent third baseman, a really good hitter. He probably is going to get moved at the deadline this year. Really solid player, best hitter on that Cubs team, in my opinion. Number 9, kind of the opposite of Matt Chapman. Elite hitter with horrendous defense. Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers, brutal defensively, but he is such a good hitter. You got to find a place for him on this list. And then rounding out this list, number 10, Justin Turner. Kind of does everything well. Older player. He keeps getting better, though. Hit a nice home run against the Astros last night, so that was good to see. Before we get to shortstop, let's get to this chat. Can you grab the guitar and play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"? Next episode, I'll do that. I need to learn the song. Manny Machado, dirty player. Not really anymore. Maniac Matt Chapman. Woo. Donaldson, future Met. I mean, what is he, like 38? Unless you trade for him. I mean, the Twins have been awful, but if we're trading for a Minnesota Twin, get me Byron Buxton. My God, he's good. All right, one more water sip. It's tough when you're talking this much. I don't have a co-host to bring out all the dead sound. Hayden in the house. Hey man, sorry running late. Just got back from baseball. But hey man, hey, you don't have to be here. It's all good. Thank you for watching. I'll salute to you, Hayden. Good to see you at baseball practice. You got to do a video, man, watching like your highlights or some shit like that. Ooh, a lot of girls watching. Okay, Hayden. Okay. I see you, buddy. All right, let's get to shortstop. If you knew me before this season, you would never think I would say this guy's number one. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is the best shortstop in baseball. Now, yes, coming this year, I said, wait, hold your horses, let him play the full year. I think the contract he got, I still think it's stupid how they're paying him so prematurely when they could be getting him on a discount. But what does this guy do badly? He makes occasional errors, but he makes up for it for making unworldly plays at shortstop that no one else can make. And every year he just hits. I know he hasn't played a full year yet, but he's never been bad. He's had a couple injuries here and there, but he is so good. He's arguably the face of baseball. I'm totally hopping on the bandwagon now. Fernando Tatis is now the number one shortstop in baseball, in my opinion. Now, I don't think people should be saying, "Oh, watch out, Mike Trout. What he's taking your spot for best player in baseball." But Fernando Tatis has taken over as the best shortstop in baseball. Number 2, division rival. Trevor Story, going to get paid a shit ton this offseason. Andrew, you might want to leave when I get to center field. That's funny. If he's not, we're throwing hands tomorrow. He's not number 1, man. I'm sorry. Trevor Story, he does everything well. He's maybe the best base running shortstop in the league. Him and Trey Turner, both phenomenal base runners, both super great athletes, man. Trevor Story does everything well. Yeah, he plays in Colorado, but I'm tired of hearing that. Nolan Arenado just proved all you morons who say that, oh, he's only good because he plays in Colorado. He's going to get traded at the deadline to a contender. You're going to hopefully see him in the playoffs. He's going to be unbelievable. Trevor Story is so good, man. Number 3, Francisco Lindor. I'm bumping him down from 1 to 3. He's just been inexcusably bad this year. He has been so bad this year. His defense, great. I'm glad that his plate appearances have, not affected his, stellar defense, but I knew there's going to be an adjustment period. I knew he was going to struggle a little bit at first, but this much, geez, man. I mean, he makes such soft contact. He's walking a little more than usual, so that's a sign looking forward, but he's just been so bad. If you want to boo him, boo him. I never tell people how to be fans of teams. I hate when people do that. Francisco Lindor, he's going to be fine. He's going to bounce back. If he finishes this year with an awful year, we got him for 10 years, and he's going to be a stud. Don't you worry. Francisco Lindor, still a stud shortstop, number 3. Number 4, Trey Turner, maybe one of the most well-rounded players in baseball. He's the fastest player in baseball, plays good defense. He's a phenomenal hitter. Most speed guys can't hit for shit. Guys like Billy Hamilton, guys like that can't hit. He's one of the big exceptions. Kind of him and Byron Buxton are the 2 big exceptions. Trey Turner is such a good player. He's not as good of a hitter as my next pick, but he fields better and he runs better. Speaking of the next pick, Xander Bogaerts, number 5, dog shit defensively. He's so bad defensively, but he's the best hitting shortstop in baseball. He is so good. He's off to an incredible year this year. Still super underrated. Xander Bogaerts is unbelievable. Also on my fantasy team. Let's go. Number 6, kind of a downgraded version from Xander Bogaerts from the other side of the plate, Corey Seager. My issue with him is he gets hurt a lot and he's not great defensively. A little better defensively, but not as good of a hitter. Obviously, just won. What am I saying? World Series MVP for the Dodgers. Really kind of helped carry them through to that World Series victory. He broke his hand. He's going to be out for a little bit, but Corey Seager is still a great player. Number 7, one of the most fun players in baseball, Tim Anderson. He's really improved a lot at shortstop defensively, and he's just a phenomenal hitter. Won the batting title last year, I think. It was either him or 2 years ago. Won the batting title. Hits for high average, hits for power. Just a phenomenal hitter. 8, Bo Bichette. Again, not a great defender, but he's a phenomenal, I wouldn't say phenomenal hitter. He will be phenomenal. Eventually was a stud prospect, obviously. He's playing really well this year. Number 9, Carlos Correa. Kind of bump him down a bit because he gets hurt all the time, and he's a cheater. All that. Let's get to the hot take of the day. Before that, I got to read this comment because Hayden left an essay for me to read. Lindor is not doing well. I figured a new location would change him a bit, but not the Mendoza line bad. His at-bats are getting worse. He's not even hitting the ball well. And it's fine. And it finds gloves in. Yeah, I mean, he makes a lot of soft contact. That's the thing. Like that's the worrisome thing. Like they're like lazy hits, man. I mean, obviously not they don't turn to hits because the average is so low. But yeah, Goat versus Trout. I would like to see DeGrom face Trout in the All-Star game. Got to see prime Trout. Well, Trout's hurt this year, so you don't know if he's going to be ready for the All-Star game. I I hope we play the Angels one day because that would be an awesome matchup, man. All right, hot take. Number 10, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, not Javier Baez. Javier Baez is maybe the most overrated player in baseball. He doesn't even look. You know when you play little league and you say, "Oh, keep your eye on the ball." I think Javi Baez just throws it out the window. They just like him because he makes all the flashy plays and makes a bunch of stupid errors too, and just swings the worst discipline I've ever seen. He's in like the worst percent. I can't even talk. He's in like the worst percentile for Ks. He swings and misses an insane amount. He is not a good hitter. He hits for power, but I don't value guys who have an on-base percentage below 300. You need to get on base. I don't care if you're hitting 30 home runs a year or whatnot. That's great, but when you're just useless, your other at bats can't make contact to save your life. Longest swing in the league. I can't stand this guy. Good defender. Great defender. Also, he's a great defender, a little overrated. You know who's the best defensive shortstop in the league? Isaiah Kiner-Falefa from the Rangers. If you were building your dream team, this is the guy you want off your bench. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, why is a bench guy, a starting player or a top 10 shortstop?" Well, for most teams, he's not the starting shortstop. I mean, if you're picking he's not the best shortstop in baseball, obviously, but he can play short unbelievably. He won a Gold Glove at third base, and he's played catcher before. That's incredibly valuable. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he's also hitting really well this year on an awful team. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at number 10. Before we get to left field, let's hit this chat. Trout will make the All-Star. Yeah, but he might not play in the All-Star game if he's hurt. But yeah, it's obviously a popularity contest. Up tonight's game isn't postponed or delayed. I live in New York and it's thunderstorming outside. Matt, what part of New York do you live? I'm curious because I'm originally from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I now live up in Rochester. But that's it. Yeah, what part of New York? Because I saw in the Bronx it was thundering. Don't worry, it's seltzer, not beer. Don't you guys worry. All right, let's get to left field. I'm gonna go quick. Oh, Kingston. I'm gonna go quick here. Left field sucks. This position is a bunch of scrubs. Um, Not a bunch of scrubs, but it's a weak position. So I'm gonna go quick. Number one's Christian Yelich. I know he's not off to the greatest start this year. Last year down year, but his 2018 and 2019 were just freaking ridiculous. Should have had back-to-back MVPs. Unbelievable. Christian Yelich, not a great defender, no, but he's a phenomenal hitter. Still a great player. Marcell Ozuna, number two, not off to a great year. Awful defensively. Last year though was just unbelievable. He had stud years with the Marlins in the past as well. Next, Jesse Winker, off to an unbelievable start this year. Really good player, man. Ben was getting me on to me for not having him after his last year. I said, let's wait. He hits the ball really hard. He's a really good player for that Reds team. Mets fans don't like him. He obviously weighed by to us when we played them, and he made the last out, waved to us. So yeah, fuck you, Jesse Winker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm over that. That was kind of funny, honestly. But yeah, Jesse Winker, number four. Number three. Number four, Eloy Jimenez. He's probably out the year, but he's just an unbelievable player. Unbelievable hitter. Not a great defender, but he was a stud prospect at one point. Really good left fielder, man. He might move to right field though, if they play Vaughn out in left field permanently. But yeah. Number five, Michael Brantley, just a really good all-around hitter. Veteran presence on that Astros team. It looked like he was going for the Blue Jays this offseason, but turned out he re-signed with the Astros. Kind of interesting there. Michael Brantley, number five. Number six, Mark Canha, another really good hitter, decent defender as well. He kind of does everything well. So yeah. Number seven, AJ Pollock for the Dodgers. His issue is he's always hurt, but he's a really good defender. Former center fielder, former Gold Glove center fielder for the Diamondbacks. He's also a really good hitter. Had a really good year last year. He's just kind of always injured, but for that Dodgers team, the fact that he's like the 9 hitter is it's unfair. Number 8, Lourdes Scoriel Jr. off to a really bad year this year, but he's a really good player. Blue Jays fans kind of overrate him a bit. They said they didn't want to trade for Lindor because, back when Lindor was playing well, because they didn't want to give up Lourdes Scoriel Jr., who's actually older than Lindor. He's just kind of a late bloomer because he came from Cuba. Brother of Yuli Gurriel, who almost made my first baseman list. First baseman was loaded. There's a lot of guys who deserved it, like a Brandon Belt, who didn't quite make it. Number 9, Randy Arozarena, best postseason of all time, and he's still kind of doing it this year. Unbelievable player, Randy Arozarena. Really good athlete, too, for a guy his size. And then number 10, Dom Smith, off to a bad year, awful defensively. He's not a left fielder. He's more of a first baseman or DH, but you can't ignore the year he had last year. Unbelievable. Let's get to this chat. Whenever you feel dumb, just remember I had Jesse Winker and Trevor Rogers on my fantasy team at one point before the season started. Did you cut them or trade them? Because that's even worse. Jack in the Box, what's up, man? LFGM, let's go Mets. I got a dope fantasy team, Hayden. My league hates me. Oh, man. Yeah, share your guys' fantasy leagues. And if you're – we did one this year, but we'll definitely do one again next year because I want to get more viewers on that fantasy league. All right, let's move to center field. Andrew, if you're still here, number 1's Mike Trout, not Brandon Nimmo. Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. He, I think, has a career OPS above 1,000. He just does everything well. He's a future Hall of Famer if he retired right now. He might be the best player of all time, and he's getting wasted. Yes, Zeros, I did shortstop. You can rewind a bit. Or just wait till the stream's over and go back if you want to hear center field and right field. But hint Lindor is number 3. Well, what was I saying about Mike Trout? Maybe the best player in baseball right now. He's kind of hurt. Gets wasted by the Angels, which that's kind of their motto. Jose, if you're watching, you're probably fuming right now. But number 2, Cody Ballinger. Hurt this year. Didn't have a great year last year, but 2019, NL MVP. Great defender coming from a former first baseman. He moved to right field, won a Gold Glove there. Was in the Gold Glove discussion for center field last year. Really awesome player, man. Hopefully we can get him back soon. Get him healthy. Another guy who's hurt too, George Springer, signed a huge contract with the Blue Jays this offseason. Obviously, us Mets fans really wanted him. Fortunately, we didn't get him. He's been hurt this year, so you can't really judge him. I think he's only played like 3 games or something. Number 4, breakout player of the year, Byron Buxton. Started breaking out really well last year, but this dude is so good. Maybe the best defensive center fielder in the league. He's fast, and he hits for a ton of power. Now, his on-base percentage has never been anything great, but he's slowly but surely gotten better every year. He's gotten better every year, which I think he can get better than this. And he just needs to stay healthy. He's always hurt, it seems like, which is really unfortunately. But Byron Buxton's an unbelievable player. Number 5, Mets fans are going to send death threats to me because I have Trent Grisham over Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo gets on base unbelievably well. But one thing that he does bad that Trent Grisham's elite at is defense. Trent Grisham is such a good defensive center fielder. Won a Gold Glove last year. Nimmo's been better. He hasn't been anything great. He's been hurt a lot too, which is something that Trent Grisham doesn't do. Is he kind of gets hurt a lot. Nimmo gets hurt a lot. It seems like every couple of years. He hasn't played a ton. He's only was 4th year in the big leagues or 4th full year. I mean, 2018 was the first year he got legit consistent playing time. So 2019 was missed most of the year. Last year was unbelievable. So I just have Trent Grisham a little more just because center fielder is such an important position for defense. But Brandon Nimmo coming in at number 6, they're pretty interchangeable though. If Nimmo, he's an elite hitter, best eye in baseball probably. He gets on base at unbelievable level. He's a phenomenal player, man. Number 8, Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo acquired for Mookie Betts. So yeah, it kind of stings. But now Andrew wants to set up a boxing match. Hey, man. Well, let's go. I got you. Trent Grisham's better than Brandon Nimmo. Ooh, okay. Back to Alex Verdugo, like I said. Really good defensive center fielder. More of a right fielder, yeah, but he can play in the corner. He can play in center as well, and he's an unbelievable hitter. He is such a good hitter, man. Tough that you lost Mookie Betts for him, but he's a really good player. Number 9, Ramon Loreano, Mr. Highlight Reel himself. Maybe the best arm in baseball. Makes some unbelievable plays, and he's also a good hitter. Number 10, Kyle Lewis. Unbelievable year last year. I say unbelievable way too much. I need to use unbelievable as more of a unique, like a special word for the really players who are unbelievable. Really good year last year. Been hurt a bit this year. Not off to the greatest start. Can also plays a really good center field. Right field, best position in baseball probably. The top 3 more specifically is just unbelievable. Number 1, Mookie Betts. Not after the greatest year so far. He is such a good player though. His 2018 was maybe the best year of the decade from the offensive side. He was so good that year. Oh my God. And he's the best, maybe the best defensive outfielder in baseball. He can also plays right field, but can also play center field. Mookie Betts is so good, and it's unfair that the Dodgers got him. Number 2, I actually moved Ronald Acuna over Juan Soto because Ronald Acuna has really improved this year. He's not striking out so much anymore like he used to. He's kind of just as good of a hitter as Juan Soto. I think Juan Soto's a little more clutch. I fear him a little bit more, but Acuna is a much better defender. It's not even close, really, and he's a better base runner. Soto, though, still an unbelievable hitter. People call him like Ted Williams Jr. They're both top 5 players in baseball, and eventually, I think I want to do my top 25 players in baseball, or top 20, something like that. Both these guys are both top 5 players in baseball. If I'll give my way too early top 5: Trout 1, Betts 2, DeGrom 3, Acuna, Soto. That's my 5. Juan Soto's so good. Number 4, Bryce Harper. Yankee fans hate me already. He's better than Aaron Judge, higher ceiling in my opinion, and he actually stays healthy. Aaron Judge, unbelievable player. He's off to a great start. Doesn't play ever though. He's always hurt. That's why he gets stuck down a bit. Pure talent, he's high. He's probably a little bit better than Harper for pure talent, really. He should have won an MVP back in 2017. Harper's MVP was also one of the best years of the decade. Both of them are really good defensively in right field as well. Both really great players. Number 6, Michael Conforto, off to a really disappointing year, unfortunately, but he plays a really good right field. He has been this year, especially, and he's just a really good hitter. And seeing the improvements he made from last year was really it's disappointing to see him playing this poorly because I really expect him to really take off this year. So yeah, number 6, Nicholas Castellanos comes in at number 7, better hitter than Conforto, but not as good of a defender. He's off to a really good start. He's so fun to watch, man. Great player in that Reds lineup. Number 8, Mikey Scramski. Giants are winning a lot of games this year. He's a big reason why. Really good player. Can also play center field. Number 9, Joey Gallo. Player a lot of Mets fans want to trade for. One of the best defensive right fielders, which is weird because how big he is, and he's also a former infielder, so you wouldn't expect him. He can also play center. He can play left. He can play third. He can play first. Really good player. Bat a little hit or miss. Unbelievable power. It's just about not striking out as much. He's a three true outcome player, but I think in a better lineup he'd play a lot better. Number 10, Teoscar Hernandez, a phenomenal hitter for the Blue Jays with really bad defense. All right, let's go to DH now. DH, I only have 5 guys just because it's only in the American League this year. And I'll go quick because DH is boring. It's just hitting. JD Martinez 1. I think supposedly like the whole iPad thing really helped him out this year. Having the iPads in the dugouts this year. So yeah, being able to watch video through after your at bat. So he said something about that really helping him this year. Down year last year, but he's so good, man. One of the best hitters in baseball. Almost won an MVP as a DH back in 2018. I think he was finished 4th or something like that. Number 2, the most talented player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani. This dude isn't human, man. He throws 95 with crazy splitters and sliders, and then hits. I think he has the home run lead currently, something like that. He's a cheat code. He's unfair, and he's being wasted by the Angels. 3, you can't tell me this guy isn't on steroids. Nelson Cruz. He gets better with age. He's unbelievable. One of the best hitters. Obviously doesn't play the field. He's a DH. We're talking DHs now. Yordan Alvarez, a young version of Nelson Cruz from the left side. He's such a good hitter. Hurt all of last year. He won the MVP after playing like 80, or no, sorry, the rookie of the year after playing 80 games or something. So yeah, Yordan Alvarez is so good. Number 5, Giancarlo Stanton, one of the best hitters in baseball. Always hurt though. This chat has got some funny stuff going on, so I'm gonna get back to it. For all you guys who listen to me on podcasting platforms, I live stream on YouTube. We have a live chat. Makes it a lot of fun. Most of the list has been good, but come on, Nimmo's low key. Nimmo is too low. Grammar needs some work, man. Jeez. Literally isn't human. Ha ha ha. Kim Jong Trump. Huh. I'm not human. Andrew, Mets fan versus Hayden on the TikTok versus YouTubers boxing event. It should be Mets fan versus James McCann. That should be content creators versus players. Me versus who's a player? I can't. Jordan Yamamoto. Which, by the way, guys, sending his wife a bunch of hate when he stinks, that's not cool, but he sucks. He's terrible. I've never been a huge fan of him. So maybe me and him, McCann versus Mets fan, and then Rojas versus Hayden, and Andrew, who's the player you hate on the Mets who just really grinds your gears? I don't know. Let me know. Let's get to starting pitchers. Let me take a sip real quick. And starting. Oh, geez. We're gonna do starting pitchers and then relief pitchers. Number 1, we got Jacob deGrom, best pitcher in baseball. Just came back from the injured list. So good. Oh, Andrew, yeah, he doesn't like Alonso because he rejected you for an autograph. Wah wah. You better embrace him. He's a beast. Um, Number 2, Garrett Cole, other side of New York, obviously. Phenomenal year this year. He's been unbelievable. He is so good. Now it's good DeGrom, though, because Yankee fans want to tell me he is. More of them are now saying, yeah, DeGrom's really better. Garrett Cole is so good. 3, Shane Bieber. Won a Triple Crown last year. That's all I have to say. I'll say more, though. One of the best curveballs in baseball. One of the better. He's super young, too, which is unbelievable for a pitcher his caliber being that young. Phenomenal. Number 4, Mets fans hate the guy. I get it. Trevor Bauer really rubs me the wrong way. I used to be a big fan of the whole, how much media stuff he does now, but the whole free agency debacle with the whole Mets shirts and all that shit is just that bugged me. But Trevor Bowers, he is so good. He is he worth $40 million a year? Maybe, but he's probably the best pitcher on that Dodgers team. He is so good. He's number 4. Number 5, Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns walks nobody, strikes out everyone. Probably the ace of that Brewer staff. It's not him. If it's not him, it's our number 6 guy, Brandon Woodruff. Both these guys make my top 10. Brandon Woodruff, he's always been good. It's just been staying healthy has been kind of his issue. He's gotten better a lot recently. Brandon Woodruff is awesome. 7, Yu Darvish for the Padres. Absolute steal from the Cubs. They got nothing back. They got some Zach Davies who had a fluky year and a bunch of kids. Yu Darvish is so good. The ace of that staff. He's been so good. He had a couple tough years initially with the Cubs. Obviously, a stud with the Rangers back in the day. He's been at it a while. Yu Darvish is awesome. 8, Max Scherzer. He's getting up there a bit, but he still shoves. He's still so good. Number 9, this one pains me, Zack Wheeler. It's weird. Some nights he pitches well every night. It seems like every time he pitches, but some nights he strikes out no one, and then other times you just can't. He strikes out everyone. Throws really hard, and he also hits, which is really good for a starting pitcher. Probably won't be for a while when the DH comes back. Really frustrating to see Zack Wheeler on the Phillies now. I always said he probably needed a little bit of a change of scenery, but Zack Wheeler is so good. Rounding out the list, number 10, another super young guy, Walker Buehler. Let's get to relief pitchers. Number 1, Josh Hader, one of the more versatile relief pitchers in the league. He's really good. He throws from the left-hand side of the plate. Or not the plate, on the mound. What am I saying? He can go multiple innings, and he's just phenomenal. Number 2, Aroldis Chapman. Until the other day, he hadn't given up a run like all year. So scary. He throws an insane fastball, super hard, nasty slider. Never good in the big moments. Shout out to Mike Brasso and Jose Altuve. But Aroldis Chapman is so good. Number 3, James Karinchak of the Indians. Probably the best right-handed relief pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. So good. He's so nasty. Off to another unbelievable year. Number 4, super underrated pick right here, Ryan Presley of the Astros. One of the best curveballs in baseball. Insane spin on that. His other pitches are really good. Since Osuna got hurt last year and now they cut him, he's taken that closer role and been unbelievable. Edwin Diaz comes in at number 5. He has the talent to be an absolute amazing pitcher. I think that his 2019 year for a little bit is always going to be like, is the old Diaz back? Because that year he was just so good. But I saw his StatCast numbers today from that year, and he got really unlucky. Now he's still terrible. I hate saying that. He gave up 15 homers because of bad luck. Now he's still awful, but he's come back. He's so you can only really put him in safe situations. He seems to only do well then, but yeah, he's still awesome though. He's Mets fan always says he's a top 3 reliever. He's top 5. I'm not ready to put him top 3 yet. Oh wow, we got a lot of people here. I'm going to put the link for the call-ins if anyone wants to call in. I'm going to be wrapping up this list a little bit. But if you guys want to call in, link is in the chat. Zac Britain coming in at number 6, another stud for the Yankees. One of the best ground ball pitchers in baseball from the left-hand side. He's awesome. Number 7, Devin Williams. He was unfair last year, off to a bit of a tough start this year, but the talent is clearly there. Devin Williams is awesome. 8, Matt Barnes of the Red Sox. He's also off to an unbelievable year this year. Just a really good pitcher all around. Number 9, talked to him last night. Seth Lugo, baby. We were me and a couple of the Mets fans at the minor league game last night. We're going bananas. He pitched 2 innings for us. He's one of the most versatile pitchers in baseball. Now, yeah, he had like a 5 ERA last year because they used him as a starter towards the end of the year. He didn't get that many relief innings, but 2019 was phenomenal. He's one of the best curveballs in baseball, if not the best curveball in baseball. Has a really good mix of pitches. He's a really intelligent pitcher too. It seems like he's always throwing the right pitch. Watching this guy, it's not just the numbers that reflected how good he is. Really look forward to seeing him get back healthy. You know, he had the loose body in his elbow this offseason. So yeah. Number 10, most people think of him more as a starting pitcher, but he's been a relief pitcher this year. I think he just got hurt, but Michael Kopech of the White Sox, this is finally kind of his breaking out year. He throws unbelievably hard, was a top prospect for a reason. So yeah, Michael Kopech takes one of my, I can't speak today. He rounds out my list. So that was my list of top 10 players at every position. Wow. We got a lot of guys watching the stream. A couple callers on the line. I'm hyped. Let's go. All right. We're going to get to our first caller. We're going to go to Puerto Rican Bo. I believe this is Sergio, right? What's going on, man? Caller, are you there? Oh, let me rejoin you. Here, try again. Yo, can you hear me? Oh, he left. Sorry about that. Call back in, man. Technical difficulties happen. Let's go to, you guys know him very well, Mets Talk with Hayden. Hayden, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, man? What's popping?
I'm good, man. Happy to be back on YouTube. I'm fired up though. We got a lot of people in here. Got a lot of callers on the line, so I'm fired up. Any thoughts on my list? Any bad rankings?
The only one I heard was Diaz, and I believe you put him at 5.
5, yes.
Which, I mean, so far Diaz he's been 8-8 in safe situations. He had that one excuse in Philly, with that injury. But he's using a splitter slider. He's looking nice. I'm liking what I'm seeing with him. He throws pure gas. It's breaking in front of the pitch fine. It's breaking in front of the plate fine. So it's more complex to hit. I've been liking what I see from Diaz. I think you put him at 5. I don't know who you had ahead of him, but I think 5 in the past. But I think 5 is reasonable. I mean, listen, I think guys like Hader, Josh Hader, Kenley Jansen, so far they're looking better than him this year. The question is, can he return to this 2018 Diaz with, 56 save?
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strong possibility. I'm not sure who caught for him in Seattle. I believe it was Mike Zunino. So I made a joke. I was like, let's go pick him up. He's a nice framer. He's like me, though. Nice framer, good with blocking, slow as hell.
Yeah.
On the base pass, so.
He's hitting well this year, though. He's kind of a strikeout or a home run or nothing guy. He'll either hit a home run or strike out, which I'm not crazy about him. About players like that. I like guys who make more consistent contact. But what are your thoughts on all these injuries, man? Because it's bananas.
It's really interesting because during the night before the season started, I did one of my first live streams, and I said there's going to be injuries with this team. I was expecting
never thought of it this
4 tops. I wasn't surprised like a guy with Nimmo. Nimmo, had his neck and his spinal issues in the past. Yep. So I was kind of suspecting him to, be that IL type of guy. Conforto still, he had a lot of hamstring issues. McNeil wasn't so much of a surprise. He had issues with his rotator and his hand, his hamstring also. So those 3 guys were not so much of a surprise. It kind of sucked that it all happened at one time. But, guys like, Alonso, half of our bench guys, it really came to a big hit. If you were to ask me in the beginning of the season, I probably would have said, maybe like Conforto or just one guy would have been out. Maybe a bench player like like Almora or Pilar. Some of these, like the stuff with Pilar, Who was it, Fargus, who crashed into the wall like that? That's nothing to do with the trainers. That's just them. But I think, in terms of pitching and stuff, and stuff like Alonso with his hand, that comes down to the trainer. I believe it is still the same trainer for the past 4 or 5 years that we've had, even going back to that 2019 stretch. So I don't really know what's going up. I mean, it's definitely, makes sense. We had the shortened season, and then spring training was kind of questionable. A lot of guys did report to Florida late. And then, there's the big question with Carrasco. Is this dude Jed Lowry or Carlos Carrasco? What are we doing with him?
And there's Lugo, who, gonna flex. I chatted with him last night. He looked okay. He wasn't great last night. His defense made a couple errors. He made a throwing error, a comebacker. He had a double play opportunity to the second base, kind of made a wide throw. But I'm excited to see Lugo come back. I thought injuries were going to happen. I didn't think they were going to 16 guys at the same time. It's just it's insane. And now Dom Smith might have a knee. And then, of course, our 2 big additions this offseason playing like absolute dog shit. But, Hayden, man, I got a lot of callers tonight. Appreciate you calling in as always, man. You know what to do. I'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bam. Mets Talk with Hayden here, bringing the fire as always. You guys check out his channel. You guys probably most of them watch him as always. But yeah, shout out to Hayden. Makes awesome Mets videos. So yeah, check him out. Mets Talk with Hayden. I don't know why I'm pointing. His link's not in the description. Mets Talk with Hayden. Check it out. All right, we got a first time caller this time. I think this is Z Ruse. Am I pronouncing it right?
It's Zuriz, man. You're good.
What's up, man?
Yeah, how are you doing, man?
Doing good, man. So are you a Mets fan?
Oh yeah, I'm a big Mets fan.
Right on, man.
I want to get into some of these injuries because I think in regards to the injuries, like since Alonso's out, you're seeing James McCann at first base, which is pretty interesting because I'd say he's playing a lot better first base than he is catcher.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. But my concern is when Alonso comes back, which they tell us will be very, very soon. I know we all talk about how McCann's never been an everyday starter. Neither is Nito. But with Nito getting a lot more time to play, because at this point, since he is the everyday catcher because of the injuries, maybe Nito would benefit from being the everyday catcher. Maybe that would unleash his biggest potential. Because remember when he was paired up with Wilson Ramos, he was one of the worst hitters in the league.
Terrible.
And now that he's playing a lot more, I think we're really seeing him shine offensively. And I've wanted Nito to start for a while. Before Nito started hitting like crazy, I wanted him to get more starts than McCann because I just think his defense is just miles better.
A lot better, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean,
outside of his arm, like McCann's obviously got the superior arm, but Nito pretty much does everything better defensively. In my opinion, you play Nito because this team needs some bats, and he's the hot hand right now. In my opinion, though, like when McCann's been struggling so much, I always said platoon the two. Like, don't make Nito like the backup. Make him, the back. Mazika can be the backup if an injury happens, and you platoon the two because McCann's done his best in a platoon situation, like last year with Grandal. And Nito's he's been unbelievable this year. He's like our clutchest hitter this year, which I never saw coming. Yeah, he had a great year this last year in his tiny sample size.
It was 7 games.
Yeah, with COVID, he got that towards the end of the year. So yeah, he was good last year. I think he hit with like 2 home runs or something. I think he had he always had the most random like home runs, like big hits back in like.
I feel like Nito's always been like that. Yeah,
he's always been pretty clutch. So. We definitely need to be seeing him playing more. And his arms also, he's been getting better at throwing out runners.
Isn't he like 5 for 5 this season?
Think so, yeah.
I mean, talking about McCann and the arm, I don't know. Maybe
McCann.
If you look across the board, Wilson Ramos might be better than James McCann. I know that's like the.
Yeah. No,
he's a better framer. He has a higher strike rate. He's a way better hitter. I mean, look. Communication.
Analytically, yes. Eye test, at least what I see, I think McCann is slightly better. I mean, also McCann he's not a tortoise who's gonna miss a bunch of tags and whatnot. McCann's not good though defensively. He's not.
He's terrible.
Yeah, and I know especially like with the advanced analytics, all the baseball savant stuff. It's really bad. Mets fans always shitting on him and whatnot, which
he has every right to shit on James McCann.
Oh, absolutely.
Like listen, I want him to succeed, but it's like I'm starting to think like on SNY, like I see all these dudes saying we're all blown away by how by McCann's defense, and then I was watching some of Wardy's post game stream with some of his friends. One of the guys was like, "Oh, McCann. Well, he's better defensively." I'm starting to think like even to the eye test, I can tell Nido is better defensively. So I'm like, does it
look at like with framing how well they snap their wrists if they got
exactly
both McCann and Ramos are slow, but Ramos especially he reaches down too much.
Yeah.
With Nido, he's a lot quicker. A lot of these really good defensive catchers, their wrists snap really well, which obviously metrics don't obviously show. That's why I love looking at the eye test as well. But yeah, McCann is he's been dreadful. And I think what he does well is he works well with the pitching staff. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
That is a big plus. I will give him that.
That's a huge plus, and you got to give him credit for that. Like people are saying, oh, well, Syndergaard's not going to want to throw to him. Well, I think pitchers really respect the guy because he does that really well. But outside of that, I expected a good hitter and an average defender coming this year. We've gotten a horrendous hitter and maybe a worse defender than his hitting this year.
Like his strike rate this year is 46%. He has -2 runs extra strikes. His 2020 framing was a total fluke. Like
really?
There were so many flukes in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just I don't understand. Like, because if the Mets are so into analytics, the analytics say this guy sucks.
Why did they see this exactly?
Like,
so were you not a fan of the signing when we first made it?
I mean, to me, I got more into like analytics recently. I was more of like I love the Mets. Wouldn't really pay attention to deep statistics. So I'd hear people say, "Oh, this guy's really good." I'm like, "Oh, he's good." But then like I learned more about analytics, and then I kind of got into these stats. Heard a lot of what Mets fan had to say, but then like there were times where I would like in the beginning of the year I thought it was pretty okay actually because I couldn't really tell what a good frame was.
Yeah.
I mean, like I now realize that McCann has way too much movement in the way he frames the ball, and so I feel like if I were an analytics person, I'd probably hate this signing back then. But I think McCann is better for our pitching staff than Ramos.
Absolutely.
Ramos is probably a better player overall. Like if you look at every single thing that they do, I mean Ramos is kind of better, but I'm not really concerned about how Syndergaard will communicate with him. But
let's
I think
focus on getting him back first, and then we could deal about which catcher he wants to throw.
God damn it! Syndergaard. I mean, I haven't been concerned about his velocity because he's been throwing 97 in these bullpen sessions. But I just really hope it's just a bump in the road. I mean, were you at the game with Lugo? Like, how fast was Lugo throwing yesterday?
Not insanely hard. He pitched 2 innings, which is a really good sign. He gave up a couple hard hits, but he's coming back from a big injury.
Exactly.
Any elbow injuries, it's huge, especially for a pitcher. So I mean, I'm not too concerned.
And about Noah Syndergaard, I mean, he's coming back from Tommy John, so you can't. And it's a rehab assignment. You don't want to see him throwing 97 against the low single A team in his first rehab assignment. But the concern is that Noah Syndergaard has always been a guy who likes to push the limits. You saw it, and it ended up getting him like a season-ending injury in 2017, or a pretty bad injury. I'm not convinced that this is exactly his fault, but it's not uncommon for something like this happen for Tommy John, But we just gotta hope this is a bump in the road. I mean, we were gonna get JD Davis back next week. Well, I mean, I guess he could still come.
Setbacks, yeah.
I know. I mean, I guess he could still come back next week because they're more. I don't know. Because he was almost ready. So I don't know. Maybe just this inflammation is just something else they gotta check. But it is something they gotta check. But I think that Noah Syndergaard. I watching him in 2019. I don't know why the team just didn't let Nido catch him every time. Because if you see the splits, his ERA was about 2.50 to Nido, and it was 5 to Wilson
I know
Ramos.
exactly why.
I know.
Because welfare Wilpons want to give the guy who they gave the money to, and they're gonna say, "Hey, Brody, who's basically the manager, he's playing, unless he needs a day off."
And it's like, wait, what the fuck was I gonna say? Like, the difference is, if you're saving a 2.5 to 3 average, if you're gonna, there's a 2.5 to 3 run difference in the ERA. That is miles more than what you're going to get on the average Wilson Ramos from the plate. You're not going to get 3 runs from him every night.
Yeah, and that's what Syndergaard said. Like he said, he never complained about it. He was just curious about the split, and he was never saying, "Oh, I hate Ramos." Like he said that in a press conference. He was pissed that it got out.
I mean, that proves how important it is to have a stronger defensive catcher. That's why I've been on the Nido train. And
Nito's a better hitter this year too.
He's a better hitter too. And James McCann was lucky in 2020 and 2019. And the thing is, like, what we saw, Tomas Nido yesterday, I think there was a moment when Diaz was pitching where he really proved that he can communicate. People are getting all on McCann. Oh, he's a great communicator. Tomas Nido's a damn good communicator
I'm not paying
too.
you $10 million a year to talk well.
I know. Did you see what Nido did? It was pretty incredible. Like what he did, how he helped out Diaz. He was like,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, he got him a slider.
The 9th inning because I was at the game last night. But yeah,
you at the game?
Yeah, no, I was at the minor league game.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I was able to catch the last inning. Yeah, he's he helped him keep his composure, all that. Man, I really appreciate you calling in. I got some other callers on the line.
Yeah,
Please call in again next time. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Take care. LFGM, doubleheader tomorrow.
Hey, let's do it. Oh, that's news to me. There's a doubleheader. Oh, it probably got rained out. So, I mean, that means I can stay on here longer. You guys want to call in? Let me put the link back. I could probably pin it, but I'm just too lazy. Next caller on the line. Y'all know him very well. The number 1 Angels rage monster, Jose Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
First off, F you.
Well, because I ranked all the Angels players high, but said they were getting wasted. Oh, and Jared Walsh too for first base. He almost made the list, and he's also getting wasted.
F you.
Yeah, do you know what position didn't have any Angels on it? The starting pitching and relief pitching.
Yeah.
Because that came up.
We were winning 9-1 earlier. Guess what the score is right now? Guess.
Wait, so you're winning 9-1.
Yes, guess what the score is right now?
Oh, 9-8.
Yes. Because
what inning is it?
Because the 8th. The bottom of the 8th. We are up, thank God.
Oh, I mean,
you
could hold the 1 run.
Joe
Madden, gentlemen.
Joe fucking Madden needs to move in with Tony La Russa, and they can go.
And Luis Rojas.
Oh, I don't. Luis Rojas looks like Albert Einstein compared to those two, and that's the fucking faker. Oh, are you not gonna mention my Tony La Russa video?
I wanted to talk to you about that. That was awesome. First of all, the title is just amazing. It's like Tony La Russa should have stayed retired. Yeah, that was a great video, guys. You guys check that out. Was it Seahawks Jose Rodriguez, right? That's what your channel is?
Yeah.
Everyone check it out. I want to talk to you about that.
And if you check it out, make sure you
subscribe to his channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got a fan. He said, "LOL, this guy's funny." You got a fan right here.
Good.
That was a funny ass. Made him look like Albert Einstein. That was good, man. That was good. So let's talk about the La Russa thing.
Let's talk about it.
I think it happened like a week ago, but I didn't go live that week. So this is
you
exactly what I knew what was going to happen. Everyone knew this was going to happen when
everyone and their mother.
who's maybe on the youngest team in baseball, like most young, exciting players, flashy players like Tim Anderson, and then Yerman Mercedes comes out of nowhere this year. Jose Abreu, Yohan Moncada, like guys who they have fun.
Manny Grandal.
Exactly, just awesome hitters. And this clown comes in and like I got mad at Jace Tingler for making Tatis apologize last year when he hit the Grand Slam 3-0, but at least he didn't say, "Oh well, what did he say? He's a moron, or he's clueless, or he doesn't play. He doesn't play his game. He plays my game." Yeah,
he said, and I quote, "Now he's gonna have to pay for it, both with the other team and with me." What the fuck does that even?
And he said he sent an apology to the Twins.
Oh God, you might as well bend over and let them. Well, you know.
Dude, that's like in football when like the freaking Chiefs are beating like the Jets. They're up like 30 points, and they just like
that would be like
pass it anymore. That's like saying you're not allowed to throw. You have to run the ball. That's all you can do.
That would be like an Andy Reid thing. Oh, I'm sorry, we're beating you so bad at fucking halftime.
Exactly.
Give me a fucking break.
Here's the craziest part. The freaking Twins disrespected the game by giving up. They gave up. They threw freaking Williams Astudillo, who I have a bobblehead of right here. La Tortuga, Tortoiseshell.
You should throw that out the window.
No, I love La Tortuga. He's a beast.
Oh God. Of course you like La Tortuga.
It's awesome.
He should be the avatar for your YouTube channel.
I mean, the Twins gave up, and so here's the thing: for like people are getting mad at the Twins manager for like standing up for the guy when his pitcher got thrown out. I actually think that's the right move. You just gotta show like emotion. You gotta like show that you have the players back somehow. Because like I feel bad for that pitcher because he got fined. And he got suspended like 3 games. You know he didn't want to throw out at Mercedes. He wanted to throw at him.
Now you're just repeating everything I said.
Yeah, pretty much. I get that. Everyone check out Jose's video. I'll say no more about this.
Now let me talk about Shohei Ohtani.
I was gonna say let's talk about Ohtani.
Ohtani is the fucking MVP of the AL.
Yep.
Right now, if he was not on the Angels, do you know how many wins we would have? He wasn't on the Angels.
Like 8.
I would say 5. I'm mad at you for 2 reasons. You have Rendon ahead of Machado on your.
Machado's the better defender.
And the better hitter. Look at the stats.
It's close.
Look at the stats.
It's close enough where I'll give it to the better fielder. Rendon's awesome. It's just Machado's had a better year last year. All right, I did look at the stats. It's close.
And
what
also,
does it matter? Why does it matter if you guys have good players? It's not like you're gonna waste them.
He will last loudest. Also, how do you not have Carlos Correa in your top 10 shortstop?
He is. He's number 9.
And also, one last thing. You have Wilson Contreras on your top 10, but you don't have his brother in your top 10.
I mean, he's played like 3 games. He hasn't played much this year. He wasn't the starter going into the year. How's he doing? He's playing pretty well though, right?
He still looks better than his brother.
Yeah, but Wilson has a
look up the stats. Look up the stats.
Wilson has a track record. Like he's had great years in the past where William has I don't even know how many at bats, but he's William. Yeah, William. I'm looking it up. Yeah, I'll
William is a rookie, I think.
Yeah.
Or a second-year player. One.
Right,
he is a rookie, right?
Yeah, so 333 on base. 214 average. Which that's he must walk a decent amount for that.
Yes, he does.
815, 114 OPS plus. So then you go to his brother. And he's also a good defender too. I mean,
yes,
he could be a top 10 catcher eventually, but he's had
by
56 at bats this year and 66 career at bats.
by next season, he will be a top 10 catcher.
I like that take. We'll see if that happens. Don't forget they have Darno though, and if he comes back from injury, you don't know if he's going to take over the playing time. But actually, no, I think this is his last year of his contract, so I think William Contreras will take over full time next year.
I thought he retired.
No, Tyler Flowers retired.
Travis Darno is out. Travis Darno is out 10 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, he's always hurt.
So why not just start William Contreras now?
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is that I think this is Darno's last year of his deal, so they'll probably play Contreras, split time with Darno if he comes back from injury this year. You never know if there's any setbacks or anything, or just play Darno on the bench. But Darno is also a damn good hitter.
So I have a question for you before I go.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you not been on YouTube at all in the past 2 weeks?
No, I've watched YouTube, but I just took a break from making YouTube.
Have you not seen me going live almost every night?
Well, I don't watch basketball, so.
Dude, just tune in.
All right, I'll tune in. I got you. Next one, I'm tuning in.
Support me. What the?
All right, I got you.
It's not like I follow the Mets, but I tune in.
But I let you talk Angels.
But I tune in to support you.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna tune in next time.
Get Hayden to follow me back on Twitter. I followed him.
All right, I'll let him know.
I
appreciate it, Jose. I'll see you next time, bro.
See you later, man.
Really appreciate you calling in. Hopefully the Angels don't blow that game.
If they do,
post a video about it. On
if they do, I will make a video of it.
Absolutely, man. All right, you have a good night, brother.
You too.
Man, Jose, the Albert Einstein line was just that was phenomenal. All right, next caller. I think you've called in before once. You had some tech issues. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah,
finally. Thank God.
I feel bad, dude, because whenever I've called in to shows and then I have tech issues, I have to hang up, and then you get put in the back of the line. So I feel bad you have to wait, but I appreciate you being patient, bro. So anything on your mind?
I'm hot take here. You can call me Stephen A. Smith, but I think Edwin Diaz is a top 3, maybe top 4 reliever now.
I think he's in that range for sure. The 2019, I had him number 5 on my list. You could easily put him over Presley. I think those two guys are interchangeable. I don't see how you can put him over Karinchak, who's younger, who hasn't really had the awful year that Diaz had in 2019. Chapman, who just gave up his first run of the year, and then Hader, who's just he's unbelievable. So I totally get it. I don't think you're dumb at all for saying that. Mets fans always tell me he's the top 3 reliever in baseball. His versatility is a little bit concerning just because he kind of only works well in safe situations, which that's when you need him. He's your closer. He's here for safe situations, for the 9th inning and stuff. But Diaz is awesome. I don't blame you at all for having him at 3 or 4.
And also about the struggle about Lindor. I know that a lot of people are calling him Francisco Lindor, but if we're going to refresh our mind, when Edwin Diaz came from a small market team, the Seattle Mariners, to the New York Mets, he did dog crap. Next year, he was okay, and same thing with 2019. 2020, nobody was there. He got to relax a little bit. He worked on his stuff, and look at him right now.
Yep.
When you come from a small market to a big market team, it's a lot of more eyes on you. So you're gonna feel the full pressure of everybody watching, especially with the New York fans.
The media.
The fans and the media are one of the most unhappiest people on earth. We have every time something to talk crap about. We just can never be happy.
Yeah.
But we just need to chill out about the Francisco Lindor things.
That's a funny nickname. I won't deny that's pretty funny. Also Manny Machado, like I said, his first year in San Diego wasn't good, and he almost won an MVP the next year. And like, yeah, you can't compare Diaz and Lindor, but you kind of can. And don't forget this: he's coming from both of them came from the American League in the West and the Central, so they almost never play these National League East teams. So it's a whole new. And I hate making excuses. Obviously, I'm trying to have some sort of hope. I mean, I've knocked the dude down 3 spots on my top 10 shortstops list. Like, I know he's been bad, but I mean, we have him for 10 years. Don't panic yet. I mean.
Exactly.
His teammate, Jose Ramirez, 2019 was terrible. The end of 2018, the second half and the first half of 2019, horrible. Should have won the MVP last year. I mean, players can have rough years and then just bounce back out of nowhere. That's the thing about baseball.
And like Robert Murphy said, yes, you can't compare them. They play 2 different positions. But my how you call this? My main point is that it's like you'll feel the pressure from playing like the team like the Tigers, right? Like the Tigers. Not a lot. Let's be honest. Not a lot of people be watching the damn Tigers. I don't hear a lot of people say, "Hey yo, let's turn on the Tigers game."
Tigers game, man.
To get traded from the Tigers to the Yankees, where again, a lot of people watch the Yankees. Mets fans, we hate them, but it's different. You'll actually feel the pressure from. Like Miller's a Yankees fan, then being in a small market team like the Tigers, not a lot of people watch them. Yep. It's different.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. And also, I don't know what we're doing, but we need to start Tomas Nido. It's no questions asked.
100%, and that's what they're doing. Nido's starting again tonight behind the plate. McCann's playing first because we literally have no one else.
McCann is actually, I think McCann is a way better defender at first than that catcher.
That's for the last color. I mean, that's not saying much because first base is a much easier position to play than
of course.
Catcher, but he's not a good catcher this year. He's been terrible. I overhyped. I didn't love the signing at first because I wanted Real Muto so bad. You steal him from the best catcher.
And next we didn't.
You steal him from a division rival, so you're not making yourself stronger and making your division rival weaker. That's just tremendous, man. So
it's like what Harper did when he signed with the Phillies.
Exactly.
When he left the Nats.
Yep, 100%. It's a great feeling because it's just, not only it's like, let's go, we got this guy. You can tell your Phillies fan friend, haha, you guys suck. We got Real Muto. So like, yeah, I'm bummed we got him. McCann was probably the second best option. Now looking at it, he's not playing like it at all. I think you platoon him with Nido, and you kind of just say, oh shit, it was kind of a mistake paying this much money for him. But he's played really well. He's been productive in a platoon role. And I think also McCann's really good about, having good chemistry with pitchers and whatnot. Look at Lucas Giolito for the White Sox. Talked very highly about him. He caught Giolito's no-hitter, and Giolito was kind of struggling about him. And it looks like he really relied on McCann. So if McCann can be like a personal catcher for one of the pitchers who has really good chemistry with, he can, kind of just focus on, framing, I guess, depending on the pitcher, your framing metrics, not metrics, framing ability, it varies. The pitch, if some guy like Peterson uses more the outside part of the zone, it's harder than a guy like DeGrom who just pounds the zone. So it's interesting, man.
I like Tomas Nido that he catches some people like Stroman or people that don't get that much strikeouts because he can control the pitching staff better. Like somebody like when McCann catches Jacob DeGrom, he's strikeout pitcher. It's really not that much big of a deal.
Everyone's swinging and missing, exactly.
Yes, but when somebody like Stroman who relies a lot on that sinker, I like somebody like Tomas Nido behind the plate because he can. Peterson.
He kind of eats the outside corners of the plate. You definitely want him to. You definitely want a guy like Nido, who's just a much better framer.
And also. Yeah, I have 2 of them. And also, a lot of people are going crazy on Peterson that he's playing bad. He has a lot of time to develop.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, and because he's super young, he has a lot of value. So if it doesn't work out, we can just trade him on the trade deadline. It's not such a big deal about it.
Or when healthy, he's like our 5 starter. Or not even. He's not even when healthy. He's a depth guy.
He should be a long relief pitcher.
Yeah.
When everybody comes back.
I mean, if the whole team's healthy, which probably is never going to happen again, because my God, we had 16 guys on the injured list for crying out loud. But I mean,
we took one and added
DeGrom, Syndergaard, Carrasco, Stroman, Walker. Like that 5 is just, it's unfair.
Yeah.
And like having Peterson and Lucchesi as depth guys, like it's just like Lucchesi being your 7th starter, and he looked good his last outing. He didn't throw too many innings. Rojas didn't want to give him too many innings. So yeah.
Oh, and what Mets talk with Hayden said when do you want to say that the honeymoon phase is done for Lindor? I'm gonna say probably at the end of the season.
Yep.
Cause like I said, I'll give him to the season. Cause if we did it with Rojas in 2020, we can do it with Lindor, and we did with Edwin Diaz. Yep. We gave him a whole year. So yeah, and he's still on the team. And we did with Familia in the 2015 World Series, and he's still on the damn team.
Yep.
So if we did like almost 6 years for Familia, we can wait another year for Lindor. It's just as easy as that.
Yep. It's frustrating, no doubt about it. But I wouldn't panic too soon. We have him for 10 years after this. Like we gotta learn to like this guy. And I love Lindor. I think he's gonna be great. So man, I appreciate you calling in. Please call again next time. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. You have a good night. Wow, we got a lot callers than usual, man. Getting a lot more people. This is my comeback, I guess you can call it. It's great to see this, man. We're gonna bring on the Islanders rock, aka the Pens suck. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man?
What is going on, my guy?
I'm not a big hockey guy, anyways. But I mean, I guess the Islanders are my team if I were to pick. Blue and orange. You know, my Jets went to a big Islander game. One of our offensive linemen had a crazy shotgun. Shout out to Dan Feeney.
Almost made me a Jets fan after seeing that. Almost. That guy's a legend, bro.
You should see Taylor Lewan on the Titans at the Preds game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was insane.
Animal. So what's going on, man?
I mean, we got to talk about those rankings real quick because I was in the chat and I'm seeing some disrespect. I do agree with you. Unlike Mets fan in his list, I do think JT is the best catcher. I give you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you on the same.
Grandal's not even number 2. Yeah.
That's what I'm like. When I love Will Smith. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's kind of the thing is I'm like you. I value the offense more than the defense because that you can see on the field.
I would say I value it more. I'm very close. I'm not like Mets fan is very much like defense here, offense here. I'm kind of like that.
I see it as Will Smith is below average defensively. He's elite offense. He's elite. I haven't looked at it. I'm not on Savant as much. I've been on Savant for probably the most time in my life in the past 24 hours. I've been on Baseball Savant. Got a 2-part video coming out soon.
All I look is the thing that says framing and the percentile. Mm-hmm. He's done well in that role.
Okay. But notoriously, maybe this year he's improved. He's been what do we got here? Yeah, Hayden, I get it. Trust me, Josh Bailey's giving me nightmares for years.
Right now?
It's 3-2 Islanders. Game 6 is right now. The game is tied at 2 with first intermission.
Shit.
So,
yeah,
Josh Bailey.
They go to the next round.
Yeah, they play Boston, which I will be cheering for them. I don't hate the Islanders. I have my Islander wristband as we speak. I don't hate the Islanders. I just hate it. I just hate them when they play the Penguins. Exactly. But no, this isn't a hockey channel. I'll stream. If they blow this game late, I might have a late night.
I make football references all the time. It's all good.
Exactly. But all right, with Will Smith.
Yes.
Again, for me, I have Grandal too. Even as a bad year, he's still great defensively. He doesn't hit for the high average like Will Smith. Will Smith's a better overall pure hitter. I'm taking Will Smith. I think that's pretty easy to say. But defensively, obviously he's improved this year. But Grandal's been historically the better defensive catcher. But he does still 100%. Bring the power. His average is tanked, but his power numbers are still there.
He walks a ton too. He gets on base a lot.
That too,
Will Smith also hits for really good power as well.
Yeah. So again, that's just kind of the thing where I'm like, when you said it was not even close between Grandal and Real Muto, there's a gap, but I think it's not that far. First base, again, I think we made Matt Olson a little too low. Yeah. Maybe that's again, it's a offensive first position, but Matt Olson gives you that offense plus the elite defensive.
Defense. Yep.
Yeah. So that's just me. But yeah.
I mean, first base is just so loaded that like any guy could go pretty much like as long as you have Freeman 1. Out of that, and as long as you don't have Mets fans list from last night, then you're chilling with me. Because my God, that was bad.
He took a lot in this year. Carlos Santana is having a good year, but I understand why he did some of his lists. And it's different viewpoints between all of us. So that's how it is.
He's more analytical than we are a lot more. I mean, it's impressive that the channel's called Mets Fan and you don't have Pete Alonso in the top 10. Like that's obviously pretty impressive.
That is true.
That shows that he's not biased, and I've proven that I'm not biased. Not having Lindor number 1. You know,
Of course.
having
Yeah,
DeGrom number 1 is just common sense. It's not
Yeah.
any bias, obviously.
And you turn on the dark side, man. You join the enemy on
the
this Tatis bandwagon. Like, come on, you were on my side.
I was on your
had my
side.
back.
But dude,
And
he
you're just like, come
just
on.
doesn't stop producing.
I'm not.
Now,
okay,
I still agree with you that the contract was stupid. The contract was dumb.
I don't hate, and this like I've gotten hate on my comment section like, oh, you hate Tatis. I don't hate Tatis. I just hate the media. The media makes me hate this guy because I can't go on Instagram or Twitter just like go through my feed. Oh, here's 7 Tatis.
That's me.
I'm with you. You had Isaiah Connor-Falefa.
He's a better
makes sense. I know
and that's biased strength.
That's biased strength. Yeah,
Yep.
I gotta really look into it. I don't like Correa's a little low. I don't like that. That's my guy, but I understand why you did it.
Yeah.
Injuries
You wanted the
and he's
Mets
had a
trade
bad.
for him, right?
You know, maybe it's a
said
tease.
In the preseason Mets Weekly show, I remember.
Maybe it's a tease for an upcoming video. You know, we'll see. Just a little tease. I've worked pretty hard the last 48 hours. I'm working on
Right on,
little two-part video coming out soon. But yeah, like I said, I would honestly, I'd have Trey Turner at number 1 right now.
Wow. Okay.
Just saying.
I don't hate that.
That's why I was like, I'm like, come on, you're on my side. I mean, he's in the top 5, but come on. And when you had Turner at what do you have him 4? You had him behind Lindor?
4.
He had 4. I mean, again, that makes sense. I mean, Turner's average defensively, but he brings every other, and he brings, maybe that's for me, the speed element is huge.
Oh
and how much he can affect. Look at the Nationals. They sucked in 2019 when he was hurt.
Without him. Dreadful without him. Yep.
So that's how, and like they can lose Soto and still be pretty solid because they have Trey Turner. So that's for me. I think Trey Turner is the best shortstop in the game. It's the unpopular because there's Tatis.
I don't hate that, man. I don't.
Yeah,
hate that. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the underrated. Like, we got Tatis. I like Trevor Story. Even he's a little underrated, but again, Lindor's up there. He's had a bad year. But you know why I called in. You know why we call it in real quick. I gotta come at you real quick. 100%. If we're looking at pure baseball,
let me give you a hint. His Twitter handle is Nimmo for MVP. That
MVP
says it
Nimmo,
all.
yes. That says it all.
Nimmo, yeah.
If we're taking actual, putting unbiased MLB opinion, Gresham is the better player. He is proven. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna put my biased pants on. That's my guy. He followed me on my old Twitter. It's my dude.
Ooh,
Put me up
okay.
throughout the years, my dude. So I gotta defend him every
In
opportunity
the
I get.
background. Is that
In the back,
signed?
Yeah, they got that one. That's what he's on the other side. Him and Conforto on that side. The jersey signed. I got a stack of cards signed, just chilling on my desk.
Jeez.
It's just my dude.
What a fucking collection.
Trust me. But yeah, if you're looking as an MLB fan, Trent Grisham is the better player. I do like you put Buxton. I would honestly. I'm just gonna say Bellinger had a bad year last year. Had better years than Buxton. Bellinger, Buxton, and Nimmo had better years than Bellinger. I'm just saying.
Bellinger's MVP, though.
I know. I'm just having fun. Just having a little fun. Come on, I gotta have a little fun. Mets aren't playing today. The Pens are going home tonight. I gotta have some kind of fun tonight. The Knicks hopefully can win. But yeah, you could make the argument that Buxton over the last 3 years, besides obviously take the MVP year, you're gonna have him over him. But in 2020 and 20,
that's the thing. That's the worst thing about Buxton.
And when I said the JD, the Donaldson featured Met, maybe at the deadline, Buxton and Donaldson to the Mets. Just saying.
So let's talk about that. Who do you trade if you're doing? Because I saw a stupid Instagram post that they wanted Joey Gallo, which I understand, but then they said they're going to play him at third base next year. He just won a Gold Glove in right field. Why the hell are you playing him? I'd play him in center field probably because he can.
You could totally do that because center field at Citi Field is smaller than it is in Texas. That's probably the only reason he's not in center field because center field they made the new stadium cavernous. I am all for Joey Gallo. Again, man, you're just spoiling my whole video. We're getting all my video right.
A lot of the viewers left. It's okay. They don't want no spoilers.
I'm good. But yeah, I'm all for Gallo. I think it makes more sense for the Mets than the Yankees. I don't understand why the Yankees want to trade for Joey Gallo unless the only exact. But I think you can ask any
strikeout
exactly
run. That's all they have.
And you want to go at a guy who all he does is that. And what has been your biggest issue in the postseason? You can't come up with that big hit when you need it because it's always getting strikeouts. Let's go get Joey Gallo. For me, if I'm the Yankees, I just chucked the pen. If I'm the Yankees, I'm going to get David Peralta. That makes so much more sense than Joey Gallo. That's just me. But, again, they want that left-handed bat. Yes, they need it, but the Gallo just doesn't make sense. But for the Mets, the power numbers are down for them. Nobody on this team is hitting home runs. That's that's a big part of this offense. And obviously, we don't have an offense right now, but even when they were healthy, they weren't hitting homers. That's what Joey Gallo can provide. But, again, it could be cheaper. He does have an extra year, so if you lose Conforto in the offseason, he can just play right field. That's for me a bigger thing, that you need to go out and add an outfielder, because the uncertainty of Conforto, if he's going to be here or not, you got to have to add an outfielder. And I would rather add it now than add it in the offseason, because now, think about it, you could have Conforto plus him for this year, but then if Conforto leaves in the offseason, you can just move him over, and you can add another guy. Yeah. But, again, for the Mets right now, adding –
or you can keep Dom in left field, unfortunately, and DH JD, which I have a question for you, too. If – with the year that Dom's having, he's been bad, obviously. If you're picking between JD and Dom for the DH of the future, who are you picking? Or keep both of them so you can just platoon them. One right-handed bat, one left-handed bat.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Is what does this
for a while? They're super cheap. It's not like you're worried about.
Yeah, 100%. My thing is, what does the rest of this roster look like? Because I'm not as much as the Rojas where everything needs to be left-right, but I do want a little balance. So depending on what the rest of this roster looks like, let's say they add a third baseman, let's say they add another outfielder, throw some names out.
Buxton, right-handed.
I'm just saying, JD and Buxton makes too much sense, and the Twins suck. So just saying, trade Pete Alonso for them, all good.
Well,
we're trading.
Oh, chill. Well, this guy said you want. Sergio said he wants Sano, but where are you playing Sano? Because he's the first baseman.
Yeah, that's the problem. That'd be deep.
He's got club control too.
Yeah.
He's played third, but he's not good there.
No, he's terrible defensively. You could stick him like how the Mets have done in Ozuna in left field, but he's a big one.
He's a big guy though. He's bigger than Ozuna.
But he hits tanks. That's what, again, if you want pure power, and that's kind of what the Mets need right now. Do you hate Pete? Yes, I do hate Pete Alonso, because he's the most phony player in Major League Baseball. When the camera's on him, I love the kids, man. Let me take a picture with the kids. When there's no camera on him, kid in a full polar bear suit, not me, like a 4-year-old.
Hey, you got a beard. He's not gonna. You're too old.
I don't hate him because it didn't sound for me. He blew off like 40 little kids screaming, really? Polar bear. Hey, he didn't even look.
I was in a minor league game last night, and I was right on the Mets home, the Syracuse Mets away dugout. All my Mets shit, screaming, toss one up, and the freaking shortstop just waved to me. He's just trying to fuck with me, like me, complete. And my dad kept laughing every time I sat down after getting rejected. I would just say jackass. It's hilarious.
But no, again, I don't hate. I just don't like how he's come in here and overshadowed the guys who have been here. And that's how I'm loyal to Mike. Obviously, I'm loyal to, the outfielder in center field. I'm loyal to those guys. And those guys that have been here through the dark days, and then this guy comes out of nowhere, or comes out in 2019, steals everybody, and now everybody loves this guy. So maybe that's just how I am, and I'm defending my guys. I don't hate Pete Alonso, but if I'm saying, who am I keeping between Conforto and Alonso, I'm shipping Alonso the first trip out of here. That's just me. But yeah,
not me.
Will I cheer for him? Of course.
Plus, I have the Alonso jersey. I don't have a Conforto jersey, so that's not $50 on fire.
But no, again,
like the first year, 2019 was like I've been a Mets fan for a while, but 2019 was like the turning point where it's it's an addiction. It's like the Mets are a drug. So it's a
very terrible one too.
Exactly. And it gets you. It's basically a drug. You think they're going to be good. They start playing well, and then you just have the worst withdrawal of all time. Not withdrawal, like after effect of all time.
Yeah, it's bad. And think about it, like I've done YouTube for a year now. That's been fully, I would say full time, but like consistently talking about this team. I couldn't imagine if I had the 2013, 2014 years. Those dark days.
What the hell would you talk about?
Exactly, and I had good games, and I think I said this in one of the game chats. I was at a game against the Nationals where Anthony Recker came in and pitched.
I was at the game. I remember I talked to you about that.
With the Ian Desmond bomb off the what's it called? The left field, I
Yep.
forgot the glass luxury.
13-2. Zack
Yeah,
Wheeler pitched like shit. I was 9 at the time. I remember I
Yeah,
mentioned that's the one game I've been to, and I told you like, hey, I was at that game. It's a small world, man.
It's freaking Frank. When I used to live, I just found out Frank lived 5 minutes away from me where I used to live.
Oh, really?
I'm like, what the? Because I was mailing him some, and he's like, send me your address. Like, all right, bet. He lived 5 minutes from where I used to live. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, I don't know. With this team, you got to get healthy. You got to figure this out. You got to make another trade. Like, they go out and add Billy McKinney. It's a body. Like I put in the group chat. It's a body. You need to get somebody here. But
I'm super against panic moves. Like, I wouldn't trade for anyone. I don't know if I'd trade for anyone now unless you're getting good value.
I understand what you mean there. But you can't, with this division, you can't go 2 weeks with this lineup. You can't because the Phillies are right on top of you. The Braves just lost Marcell Ozuna for 5 weeks, which that's a big blow to Atlanta. About time they got somebody big injury. But you can't sit back now. Like you can't continue to run out.
Take advantage of this division underperforming.
Exactly. And you have the Rockies for 4. You have the Diamondbacks again, which I think, and then San Diego as well in between. So. You got to get some, and I'm not saying go right now and go trade for Joey Gallo because probably the price right now for Joey Gallo.
They have all the leverage. It's gonna cost a lot.
And also the Yankees are heavily interested, so that could be a bidding war early. But you also you can't sit back. How do you know people? No, because he's done it like 12 times. That's why I know Pete's the jackass. Besides the boy, but yeah, you can't sit at this division. Oh man, I wish I was filming back then. I would expose so many Mets if I had a camera back then.
Oh my god,
it'd be great. But again, you can't go with this out. You got to do something. And I have my video, which is coming out hopefully in a couple weeks. I bring out, I talk about some trade guy. Obviously, I have the big names, your Bryants, obviously that's going to be in the video. But some smaller end guys. And you look at teams like Arizona, Texas. Where's my video at? Arizona, Texas, Minnesota could be a team that you can do. Baltimore has a few guys. Detroit. You look at those teams who are out of it, like 6-7 games already. Kansas City. You just look at them and be like, okay, what can you add? And it doesn't have to be a big name, but it could be. I mean, you look at guys small market teams who want big contracts for another year, have one more year of control, or it's their walk year. They're going to want to get that money off. Wait. What exactly did Pete? Seems okay. He might be loved in the clubhouse, like between the players. That might be 100% true. But when the camera's not on him, he's a dick to fans. It's like I guess I can explain this real quick. Obviously, if you see in the back, I get autographs. So I go before games, and they have the players lot. There's a big fence. If you've been to Citi Field, the big lot, that big blue lot on the first base line, that's where the players park. So, most players do, obviously, like Nimmo, Lugo, Conforto. Those guys were cool. They signed for the fans.
I tried to get a Lugo autograph last night. But
I was about to say, did you try to get one?
Another guy asked him. They said, hey, I have a binder of cards. Could you sign a few? He said, unfortunately, they're not letting us do autographs here. I said hi to him. Nicest guy ever.
Lugo's the man. Lugo's the man.
He is.
Nimmo, Lugo.
There was me and a couple other Mets fans at the front row who were going like Lugo, and he looked at. He didn't give us you could tell he gave us a look. He didn't wink at us or anything, but you could tell he semi acknowledged he's the man.
Yeah, Lugo's always been good. Dom, JD, those guys are great. Dom used to be a dick, but then when JD got here, I guess he kind of went over and made him a good guy.
Suck. He probably took it out on the fans, being this hyped prospect who went downhill.
Yeah. So pretty much, I guess I'll try to make a quick version of the Lonzo story. Pretty much, I go get autographs before games. Guys come in. The biggest thing, he's blowing off fans every time. I've graphed 17 games before in 2019, his rookie year. He's blown us off big. Blew us off every time. The biggest one was last.
Dude.
I wish, dude, trust me, I would expose so many Mets who are the media calls great people. Oh, I wish I had cameras. Jacob deGrom.
Just because you do that doesn't make you a bad person.
I'm not. I know, but to me, when you're blowing
YouTubers, they're baseball players. They got shit to do.
But yeah, so pretty much it's the last game of the year, fan appreciation weekend. They whatever that BS they run. But the last game of the year, there's about 10, 15 people here. There's about 6 kids, all in Alonzo shirt. It's September, so you have the winter hats. They have the polar bear hats, because they sold the 7-line sold. So pretty much we go in. Here comes Pete. He came late. So the guy who was at the door went home because his day, everyone's supposed to be in by 3 o'clock. Everybody's supposed to be in by 3, and then he goes home because everybody's home. So the guard's gone. So Pete goes into the stadium, goes to the door's locked. Pete is stuck outside for a half hour. Nothing. He's got nothing to do because he Ubered, so his car is gone. So all Pete is doing is standing in City Field. There's 2 fences that run this way. Yep. Here's the ballpark. He's just sitting there. Little kids screaming his name in the polar bear gear. Polar bear, please, Pete, please take a second. Doesn't even acknowledge us. Puts his little headphones on and just sits under the thing, just waiting for the guard to come back. Starts calling the guard. Half hour. Didn't even acknowledge the kids. I just said, Uncle. I walked away. He was the last guy to come in. So I was like, I got my done day. I had a pretty good day. Slept. But he was out there for a half hour, blowing kids off. Didn't even acknowledge us. We weren't even human beings. So that's why, personally, I hate Pete Alonso. But again, you can love him. You can love the homers. And I have no problem if you like Pete Alonso. I'll still cheer for Pete Alonso. But if you're telling me who it's the walk-off homer, Conforto or Alonso, I want it to be Mikey. That's just me.
I totally get it. And there's a time and the place for fans to, ask for autographs and shit. That's the time and place. I saw this video that really pissed me off when when Carson Wentz got drafted to Philly. He was just they said, going through the airport, big airport.
Oh yeah, I don't do that yet.
That shit. All the fans, oh, shame on you, Carson. You do all the media people trying to get a fucking interview or something. Oh, shame on you, man. That's different. But when you half hour just outside, you don't even acknowledge. You don't say, hey guys, how you guys doing tonight? Shit like that.
Jake doesn't sign, but at least he acknowledges us that we're at least human beings. We'll be like, Jake, he doesn't sign. He walks up and he goes, hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, guy. At least he acknowledged us, and we know you're the best pitcher on the planet.
Autographs. I mean, look at the guy. He freaking strikes out 15 and then just. Yeah, good job, guys.
They didn't spring training, but at least Jake, he's the best pitcher on the planet, and he has at least a respect for us and the decency to say, hey guys, what's going on, man? If there's a kid wearing, it's like, Jake, you're the best. He's like, all right, thank you, and at least walks into the stadium. Alonso just blows off the fans, doesn't even acknowledge us. We don't even matter. So that's just my little rant about Pete Alonso. But again, do I hate him? No. Is he? Do I hate that he's a phony? 100%. But again, and I have a respect for the players. I won't go to the hotel. That's my thing. I only get at the ballpark. I will only ask you for an autograph at the ballpark. I won't bother if you're with your family. There are people that go to that extreme. I don't. I get you at the ballpark, at your place of work. That's it. I'm not going to go to the hotel. I'm not going to go. That's for me. That's my line. So that's just how I am. But because there's people that do do the autograph thing and take it to a whole different level that I don't personally do. But again, that's just me. But I guess you're probably running a little late. I guess I can get out of here because
you're the only caller left. But I just have to use the bathroom really badly. But I'm chilling. Nah, we're good.
So I'll let you. I'm gonna go watch this Knicks game as they get started.
Did the Pens blow it?
The Pens, they just scored as we were talking. It's 3-2. They just started the second period, and I'll put it back on in a second. It is current commercial, but it was 3-2. The Knicks just started.
Let's go Isles. What's the chant? Yes, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's the Daniel Bryan thing, but besides the point.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in. You got to call again next time, man.
When I see you live, I'll go, man. See you, man.
Absolutely, man. Have a good night.
You too, man.
Wow, shout out to Andrew for calling in, man. You guys check out his channel, Andrew Acevedo, member of the Mets Weekly crew. You guys see me and him on there. I won't be here tomorrow, though, unfortunately. I got a 5-hour driving class on Zoom, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the Mets play so I can have it side by side. Don't tell my parents. Don't tell the driving person. But I'm going to end the show here, guys. This was an awesome show. Really good way to come back. I think we had 8 viewers at a time, which for me is a lot. We had a ton of callers tonight. Really appreciate it. You guys know how much I love doing the callers. I'll try to get the chat a little more next time. Really appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to the channel, like the stream. Obviously, I clip up the fun stuff from the stream, post it afterwards. Let's go Mets, man. It's been tough. It's tough to watch, but we're winning games. That's the most you can ask for. Let's get healthy. Let's go Mets. Like I said, you can check out our podcast here. You can check it out on Spotify, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, drop us a 5-star. Here's a good initiative. Drop us a 5-star on iTunes. Screenshot it to me. DM me on Twitter. E Solomon Music. or Instagram, Aaliyah Solomon Music, or the Big Al Baseball Banter Instagram. You can DM us there. DM us proof that you did it, and then I'll get you. You'll get a fast pass to call in. If you want to call in, you'll bump the line. That's a good incentive. I like that. That's a good initiative to do that. All right. I will see you guys next time. Appreciate the love. I'm back. Not going anywhere. Just needed a little bit of time off. The Let's Talk Jets guys really busted my chops for that. Shout out to them. They said they were going to call in, but it looks like they didn't. So, but anyways, guys, appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.